Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. Yes, today we are going to be doing a mall. Now, I had no idea what to build. I'm constantly always going through my phone. I'm always trying to figure out what to build, what's my next thing gonna be, and I want to be posting so much more this year. So trying to figure out something to build is just killing me. And also the fact that I always love to build on a 64 by 64 lot. And if any of you guys have been around for even a little bit, you guys will see a pattern. Now my pattern is literally always building on a 64 by 64 or a 50 by 50, and that's just me. And now that I want to start building more and I want to start making more content for you guys, it's just in my head I'm I can't make 3 64 by 64 lots, every week, because your girl's gonna run out of time. I'm not gonna have enough time. So I really need to figure out what I want to build, and if I make smaller builds, hopefully they will still be just as nice, just a little bit more confined. Definitely not as spread out, but I do hope that you guys look forward to it. And don't worry, I'm definitely gonna continue to make really big buildings. I haven't done my Let's Play in a hot minute, so if you guys do want to see that again and bring my family back, I will bring that back. I am so sorry. I remember one day I tried to record it and it just didn't work. But I really do hope that you guys are liking this video so far. It's only part 1 out of 2. I'm gonna make 2 parts. It's been a while since I've done a part 1 and a part 2, so I really hope that you guys like it. It is definitely my first ever mall that I've ever built. So please, be nice. Let's keep in mind that is my first time, and I definitely think that I could do a lot better next time. But this is definitely, don't get me wrong, I have gone so out of the way to put so many plants in this place, as you can see. And if you guys do know me, I love greenery, so it is not a surprise to many of you who have been around for a bit, but I do really love just putting the flowers and the trees, and everything just looks so lively. And obviously, I think inside of the building as well, I did put a lot of greenery as well. So it's a very eco-friendly build, I would say. It's very green, and I like that. It's really pretty. Speaking of green, I just got back from Florida, and I thought going to Florida was gonna be nice and warm and sunny and beaches and bathing suits and everything. I was so wrong. I was so wrong. It was so cold, you guys. It was so cold. The first day I got there, there was frost on the cars. I saw my breath. I was like, I'm in Florida, right? I'm not in Canada anymore. Guys, it was 4 degrees, 3 degrees, it was so cold. I think for other people it was 50, 40, it was cold. And but I had so much fun. I got sick as soon as I got back. You can kind of hear it in my voice, but I've been getting a little bit better, which is good. And I have so much to tell you guys. We went to Busch Gardens, we went to Universal, we went to, gosh, where else did we go to? Oh, we went to SeaWorld as well, so it was really cool. We were there from the 5th to the 15th, and it was really neat, and I have so much to tell you guys with it. I passed out on a roller coaster, which wasn't fun at all. If any of you guys have been on the Hulk ride in, I think it was Busch Gardens, I went in there the first thing in the morning, and I got on, and I saw, as soon as it went, I started seeing black covering my eyesight, and I was like, what? And the only time that I've ever had like a little glimpse of something like dark like that was when I was at Canada's Wonderland, which is in Canada, and it was on Leviathan. Now, Leviathan is like a really big ride here in Canada. I think it's like the biggest one in Canada. And when you go down, I would kind of get like a little like black across my eyes, but it was very quick. And usually I'm really good with roller coasters. But when I went on the Hulk ride, I kept seeing it like coming across and it wouldn't go away. And it was like black from like the left and the right and everything. And it was starting to close down in my eyes. And then eventually it just went like dark and it was black. And then, you know, like 2 seconds later, I kind of like woke up again and it kept trying to do the exact same thing. And it was so weird. And I was like, oh my God, like as it was going, I was like, am I blacking out right now? I'm like, no, I can't black out. I cannot black out right now. This is not happening. And then it kind of like went again and then off again. It was so weird. But needless to say, after we got off of the ride, I had a huge headache. I was feeling a little bit lightheaded and I just wasn't feeling that good. And as soon as I walked off, everyone was like, oh my God, the ride was so good. This is so cool. And Alex, who's my boyfriend, he looked over at me and he goes, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I think I blacked out for a little bit, but I'm good. He was like, wait, what? And he was so like, he was so cute. He was like, okay, we need to go get you water. He's like, I'm gonna look up like, why are you blacking out and this and this and this, and you are not going in any more roller coasters today, I swear to God. And I was like, okay. He was like my personal doctor for the day. It was really funny, but it was really crazy. But I got a lot of headaches, you guys, and usually I have no problem with that, especially because almost 90% of the rides are like you sit down, you wear glasses, and it kind of takes you out on this like 3D kind of ride. But a lot of them I was getting major headaches on, and it was so weird. I felt a little bit nauseous. I don't know if it's just because I'm getting older or what the story is, but I love rides. There was one ride which was terrifying. It was a straight 90-degree angle and it goes up, and that's like the first thing that happens on the ride. And it has like a little section that you can like press to choose music to go on the ride to kind of like calm you down as you're going up a 90-degree angle. Like I'm not an astronaut. Why is this a thing? And I get on and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna choose my music, and it went away too quickly. I was too slow, so I couldn't listen to any music while I'm freaking out, like going up this like this wall of a ride, and I was so scared. It was a lot of fun, but I've had like 5 or 4 concussions in my life. So when my head rattles, it hurts a lot. And especially when we got off that ride, I was out for a count for a bit, and I was like, nope. But the craziest thing, before I even got into the park, there was this lady, okay? And at first, Alex and I, we only had our tickets like on our phone for our email. So they wouldn't let us go in, so we had to get it like printed, which was no problem. Like we were able to do it really quick. But when we got to like where you have to like scan your thumb and you go into the park and they scan like your stuff, it was... I swear to God, I felt like a criminal. This lady was treating me like a criminal, like I did something awful. So what happened was Alex went before me and he goes in, scans his fingerprint, goes in, cool, he's in. I walk up to the lady, she looks at me and she giving me so much attitude, and I'm like, I just woke up like an hour ago. Like I'm just living life. I'm just on autopilot. Like I'm just going through the day. And I'm like, hi, how are you? And she's like, good. She's like, put your fingerprint down on the scan there. And I was like, okay. So I do. And she looks down and then she looks back up at me and she kind of gives me like this like kind of look on my face, and she's just staring at me. And she goes, Alexander. And then I go, because again, like I said, I just spoke up. So I'm like, I was expecting to like scan my fingerprint and just go in. So when she asked me something, it really threw me off. So I like looked at her and I was like, sorry, pardon? And she goes, are you not Alexander? And I was like, no, I'm not Alexander. And then she stops and then she's staring like into my soul, very rude. And she was like, so if this isn't you, then how did you obtain this ticket? And I was like, what? And I said, no, my boyfriend is Alexander. And then she goes, what? And then Alex comes by and he's like, is there an issue or whatever? And then he's like, no, I'm Alexander and that's Jamie. And then in my head, I was just like, what is going on? And this lady is looking at me like I have like 6 heads and the rudest stare I think I've ever seen. Like she was looking at me like I was like, I illegally got these tickets and then like tried to go into the park. And she was like, okay, well, we're gonna have to fix this, was blah 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 blah. But in my head also I was like, wait, then how did Alex get through on my name? That doesn't make any sense. So I was so confused, but the lady was like giving me so much attitude. I did not like her at all. Great way to start the first time I ever go into Universal. And I was like, as soon as we were all done, I was just like, okay, like, have a nice day. And then she goes, mm-hmm. And I was like, excuse me. Like, I'm sorry that you woke up on the wrong side of the bed this morning, but please do not take it out on me or give me attitude when clearly there was a mix-up. Not my fault, okay? Obviously, we should have looked. But also, how did Alex get through on my name if I took his name? Like, that's so weird. So yeah, it was so strange, you guys. It was crazy though. It was really cool. A lot of the people that we were with were fantastic. Everyone that we were with were fantastic. We met up with some friends from Puerto Rico, and we had like the first like 2 or 3 days in an Airbnb, which was beautiful. And then we went over to like the resort. Now, the funny thing is about the resort is that there's 2 in the surrounding area with the same name. Now, the first one that we had the address to took us like 30, 40 minutes to get there. And when we finally got up to like the front entrance, we like look around and we're like, oh my God, this is beautiful. Like this place is huge. It's got palm trees. It's got a beautiful security gate in the front with like so much greenery. The building is massive. It looks like a 5-star resort. And we're like, oh my God, like this is beautiful. So we pull up and the guy at the security was really nice, and we gave him like all of our stuff, and he goes, I think there's something wrong here. We can't find you in the system here. And then, 10 minutes later go by, and turns out that we're at the wrong resort. Even though it's the same name, we're at the wrong one. So as we were in the car, I was like, how funny it would be is if we have to go to the next one and it's just like super ghetto. And everyone was like, don't say that, Jamie, but that's probably what's gonna happen. And I was like, oh my God. So thankfully the second one was like 5-7-ish minutes away, so it wasn't very far away. And of course we pulled up and it was the ghetto version of the resort. And I laughed so hard, but don't get me wrong, it was still really beautiful. It was really nice, but definitely not as nice as the resort that we first strolled up to. So it was fine. I'm just happy that we were in Florida. Even if it was really cold, the hot tubs were hot. The pool was warm. It was beautiful. And they even had like a little Starbucks everywhere. They had some stores. They had restaurants. It was really freaking cool, you guys. And I wish I could have been there a little bit longer because I was just not ready to go home. As soon as Alex and I finally got to Canada, he looks out the window and then he looks at me and he goes, I don't remember Canada being this brown. And I was like, oh my God. Because first off, love, it's winter. Second off, we're in the city. And third off, it's like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Like, it's not like the sunset's not pretty, like there's nothing going on, so like don't worry about it. But I just loved Florida. It was so green and beautiful and pretty, and I love palm trees, you guys. I'm so obsessed with them. But I'm happy I'm back because finally we can push out so much more content, and I really do hope that you guys like part 1 in my little story. Please make sure to use the hashtag #SimSpo on the gallery so that we do more showcases on our channel. And if you like this video, maybe please consider like, commenting, and subscribing, and I will see you all later. Bye, guys.